Shalom family, welcome to another edition of Sisters of the Maccabees. And I'm sitting here with my sister to my right.
Shimika Preston.
Okay, and to my left.
Malika Benjamin.
Alright sisters, thank you. Welcome to another segment of Conversation with Israelite Sisters. Today's topic that we're going to talk about is, once again, health. That's right, we're talking about health again, and we're going to talk about it ad nauseum because our people have a long way to go into the health field. So today what I want to talk about is diet and eating. And I think we were talking behind the scenes about what our people eat early in life affects them later in life. So starting with you, Sister Shamika, I want you to expound on that a little bit. How do eating habits that we have earlier in our life affect us later in life?
Well, probably the most important part of the whole human body, which we always forget, is the gut. The health of the gut. And what you feed it determines the overall health of the gut. So if you don't take care of it now, later on when you have digestive issues and not being able to go and, water, your body retaining fluid and all kinds of things, these are buildups of issues that were never resolved when you were younger. And when children are young, a child will eat what you give it. Give him or her. You don't have to give them chicken nuggets and french fries. If you incorporate the right foods, your system will be more able to deal with the herbs and the fruits and vegetables and stuff that they will ultimately need later in life. I mean, they need it now, but when you get older and you have different ailments, because let's face it, no matter what you eat, no matter how healthy you are, eventually the body breaks down. The flesh is weak, right? Spirit is strong, but the flesh is weak. So our bodies are going to break down to a certain degree, whether it's arthritis in the knee, whether it's, maybe some people are diabetic, and maybe people have eye issues, or, kidneys, or something is going to happen to you. And then usually people go into corrective mode. They want to try to correct what it is. We're not talking about going to the hospital, because we know all they want to do is give you drugs and make you more sicker. If you're smart and you're aware of your health and everything, you will look at alternative medicine. And alternative medicine is usually based in herbs. Herbal formulas, teas, fruits, vegetables, smoothies, juicing, all the earthy remedies, the plant foods, to fix what's going on. And I think a lot of our people struggle with making that transition from eating regular to eating or drinking your smoothies and everything. So if you start when they're young, even if they don't like it, introduce them to various plant foods and various juices and everything, and get them used to incorporating that in their diet. And it won't be such a big deal when they really have to take it and be serious about it. That's how I feel about it, because, my son, he eats Brussels sprouts and cabbage and the whole nine. But I know some people won't eat anything but corn. A grown man won't eat anything but corn. Mm-hmm. Everything else, that bothers my stomach. My stomach gets in a knot when I eat greens. Oh, I can't eat that, it makes me sick.
I remember, it always amazes me when I see mothers with children and you ask them, do you give your child something? And they'll say, oh, he doesn't like that. Well, who told him he doesn't like that? You give him choices, as you said. You give the child choices. They're always going to choose the chicken nuggets over the Brussels sprouts. They're always going to choose the junk food over the salad. They're always going to choose that. So you kind of have to, as the parent, you kind of have to be the parent and impose certain things on your child that you know in the future will be beneficial to them. And I have something that pops into my mind that we'll discuss at another time, because it's pretty much parallel to the topic that we're talking about, but I won't do it right now. Sister Malika, you have a background of growing up in the islands, as everybody knows by now, and I know that you said that when you were young, they used to put herbs and teas and different things into your sippy cup as a baby. So you kind of came up doing those things. So talk about that and how it has helped you later on in life.
Well, I'll go a little bit deeper. I'll say that it all begins with a child's taste bud. and you have to get your baby taste bud used to the healthy stuff, right? And how does that happen? First of all, it has to start within the stomach of the mother, right? The carrier of the child. Whatever mommy eats and she breastfeeds that child is going to get it through her breast milk, right? So while mom is pregnant, if she's ingesting the right thing, the baby taste bud is getting used to all the good stuff that mommy is eating. And then what while the baby is in the stomach, while she's breastfeeding the baby after the baby is born, mommy is eating all the good stuff. The baby is getting it from mommy's milk, and all that is the child taste bud is getting used to all that. If you have a mother, a pregnant woman, who she's pregnant, and all she eats is just junk, potato chips and candy and McDonald's and whatever, that's what that baby is getting inside mommy's stomach. Okay? Not only the taste bud of that child is getting used to all that junk and garbage, right? The baby is also developing some type of, that baby is predisposed to some type of illness. And after that child is born and mommy continue to eat all that crap and breastfeeding the child, that's what the child is getting. Because baby gets what mommy eat, right? Mm-hmm. If she's breastfeeding the child, that's what the baby gets. So that baby taste bud is predisposed to all the crap. So when a child gets to 1 and 2 and 3 years old, that's what they're going to crave. The taste bud is going to crave all that because that's what mommy been eating while she was pregnant, while she was breastfeeding the child. I mean, that's what it is. So, how I was raised, my family, and pretty much everyone around us, we eat plant food. My mom took herbs while she was pregnant with me, before she got pregnant with me. This is our lifestyle. When I was born, while she was breastfeeding, this is just my family. We take herb all the time. And like you said, I remember as young as 3 years old, our sippy cup, herbs, that's what was in there. Not milk, not some juice from the store. It was herb in those sippy cup. Some type of tea, some type of herbal tea in the sippy cup. And I remember running in the kitchen asking for tea, because that's what my taste bud was used to.
No, I'm the opposite of that. I grew up in America. We have a standard American diet. My mother cooked everything out of a can or a box. But I mean, she was older, so she actually still cooked her food. But I mean, our closet was full of canned goods. So corn, carrots, spinach, and peas. I mean, she had that stuff, but it was all in the can. Right? So the difference is, as I got older, I would ask my mother, could you make this or could you make that? And she would look at me like, there's a cookbook right there. She said, if you see anything in there that you want, she said, I'll buy the ingredients and you make it. Right. She said, I'm not going to make you want it. I'll make it. So I was always in my mother's cookbooks as I got older. And then when my mother would go to work, she would say, I took a roast out. You can just make whatever you want with it. And so I learned how to cook, and I was more adventurous in the kitchen without being told, because certain things my mother made, it just wasn't good. It just wasn't good. And to the point where, even my sister would say, can you make it? Because, this is not good. Like Brussels sprouts is a perfect example, not to talk about a specific vegetable, but if you boil it and put butter or whatever on it, it's nasty. Yeah. It's disgusting. It has to be prepared a certain way. Yeah. So a lot of our children, we weren't feeding our children the vegetables the proper right way to entice their taste bud. Right. They're like carrots, it's nasty. I mean, and
not only that, when you're feeding your child stuff from a can, we know what's in that can. It's not just a fruit. Because how do you get that fruit to sit in a can for months and months? There's something on in the can with the fruit. There's a whole bunch of syrups and preservatives and whatever. And that's what's feeding that child's taste bud. And that's why kids... I remember going into the supermarket and this brother had a whole bunch of fruits in a can. Canned fruits, like peaches and plums and whatever. And I mean, I couldn't help myself. I said to the brother, there's the fruit aisle over there. why don't you get some fresh fruits? And he said, well, I'm not used to that stuff. This is what I've been eating since my whole life. He had all that canned peaches and canned pineapple, and the fruit aisle was right there with all those fresh things, and the brother says, I'm not used to that.
It's conditioning, and that is, and I'm going to let you come right in, Sister Shamaka, and the sad part about it is, as you and I can attest to, you go down to the islands, and they, with the stuff growing right on the trees, they leaving that stuff on the tree to fall down to the floor and rot while they're going to the supermarket buying the canned foods here in America. But go ahead, Sister Shamaka.
Which brings up two things: salt and sugar.
Yeah.
Salt is, our body needs salt first of all, but it needs the right kinds of salt. So I think for a lot of people, everything is too salty. There's too much salt in it, right?
And the wrong type of salt.
And there's the wrong type of salt is sugar. If you put sugar on everything, it's going to taste better. You put salt, sugar, and butter, everything tastes better. It doesn't mean it's good for you. It's not good for you. But I think that's really the main issue. When you said the brother, he ate this way all his life. A fresh peach and the peach is served, that's two totally different foods.
Yeah, it tastes
It
different.
may say it's a peach, but they're two totally different foods.
Well, I'll explain why. When you say the sugar and the salt make things better, right?
Tastes better, not better.
Well, right, makes it taste better. Number one, when you eat a mango here compared to eating a mango back home in the Caribbean, it's just two different things, right? That's one. That's one. Because we're not getting the right fruits, even with the fruits and vegetables. We're just not getting the right fruits here. In order to get the fruits to the supermarket, because my family used to supply the markets with our goods, right? In order for us to get our goods to the supermarket, stuff like mangoes and tangerine and oranges, especially the mangoes, they can't be too ripe. Sometimes they're picked green or half ripe somehow. So by the time they get to the store, they're sitting there, they're waiting to be ripened because they're not really mature enough to ripe. So by the time you and I buy these things, it doesn't taste the same as a fresh mango that just got picked off the tree. So that's one problem. And here's the other problem. Our people don't know how to cook. I hate to say it, right? Because you don't really need a whole bunch of powdered seasoning like adobo. What do you call it? Adobo seasoning, and powdered onion and powdered garlic and powdered, what's that red thing in the bottle?
Paprika?
Paprika. What is paprika? Anyway, you know, you don't need all that. You know what you need? Some fresh herbs. Rosemary, you know, thyme, scallion, what are some fresh herbs, Sister Shamaka?
I mean,
you need some fresh, right?
And if I may,
all that stuff will, you know, some ginger and garlic and.
If I may say, I partake of your plates every day, Sister Malika, obviously, and I've eaten from Sister Shamaka, and they're not just talking. When I say these sisters could throw down, Sister Shamaka is a master chef, and that daggone her cookbook. What is it? All the recipes in that little box that she got. You know what I'm saying? With Fort Knox locked, you can't walk out the front door with them daggone recipes, man. She's not kidding, and she does use a lot of natural stuff. So we're not just talking. I know you sisters are on limited time right now. I don't want to take too much time. I want to ask another question really quickly. You know, you sisters, you know what I'm saying? You know, we don't have to talk about your age, obviously, but you sisters both look young. You know, your skin looks good. You know what I'm saying? You sisters look very young, like you keep yourselves up. And I believe a lot of that has to do with the way that you sisters eat and the way you take care of yourself. And I believe that's why sometimes we see certain people and we're amazed at how old they are. And it has a lot to do with the things that they were eating when they were in their 20s and in their 30s and in their 40s. You know, they ate the right things, so they might be 65 and look like they're 35. You see? I go to the gym and I see dudes that's 60 years old, you know, pushing and doing more than dudes that's half their age. A lot of that has to do with eating. You want to spell on it a little bit, Sister Shamaka?
Well, my husband says, I mean, I guess most people know this. When you get older, your metabolism slows down, right? So a lot of stuff that you used to be able to eat, you just can't eat, or you have to really reduce the quantities or how often you eat those types of things. The muscle tissue breaks down, so you have to rebuild. You know, like if you were the type of person and maybe like all you did was walk or you ran, and maybe it's time to incorporate some free weights, or you know what I mean, kind of change it up a little bit, and because the physical and the diet, they go together.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And me, I'm a work in progress. As you can see, I'm not a tiny person. You know, I fell off the wagon and I get back on. When you know better, you do better. You know, when you know there's things that you're doing that are detrimental to your health, you have to take a step back and say, you know, where am I at in my life is causing me to take these steps backwards. Because it could be, you know, death in the family and finances and marital problem. Anything can cause you to eat or do things that you normally, even alcohol. I mean, that's a whole other issue. But anything that you're doing that's detrimental to your health, you know, you have to take a step back and, well, I mean, because you want to be flexible, you want to be mobile, you want to be able to move, because if you injure yourself and you were never mobile to begin with,
Right.
you're in for an uphill battle.
Oh, yeah,
you're in for an uphill battle, because like you've already emancipated yourself. You've already made yourself, your recovery process is longer.
Yeah.
Because you're not in the right mind frame, number one, and physically you're not in the right.
You're not.
Yeah. So it's going to be, your battle is going to be even more, tenfold. And the other thing you were talking about, not to skip back to the fruits and vegetables, but the land is depleted. The land is not right.
The soil.
So we're fighting a losing battle, but it's still a battle that we have to fight.
As my grandmother would say, sometimes you have to pick the bad from the worst. It's all bad, but you got to pick the bad from the worst. We all know that our food supply is 100% just destroyed. I mean, let's just get that out of the way, right? But, and which is why we have to do, I know, I've been saying this a million times, we have to do flushes, cleanse, regular cleanse, because even if you're eating fruits and plant food and plant-based diet and vegan and whatever,
raw vegan,
all that's chemical that's been and there's no such thing as organic, 100% organic food, unless you're living in the islands. Really, in America, give me a break, okay? So you're eating all that plant food. Let's just stick with the plant food for a second. You're eating all that plant food, and they spray all that stuff on there, and you eat all it because you can't get it off. It's chemical. It goes right inside of you. What do you think happened? All that chemical is in there, and sometimes the liver is having a hard time processing those toxins, those chemicals that you're putting in your body. So you have to do regular flushes. That's very important. Now, on top of that, with people who eat, meat and dairy and processed food, processed food. Let's talk about the preservatives and the chemical and the coloring. All that. We just discussed children health, right? Mm-hmm. All this colorful cereal that people give to their children. What is that color? You never wonder what that color is?
It's on the back of the box. It's written in a way you can't understand it. It's on the back of the box.
It says artificial.
Right, to start with. Yeah.
What is the word artificial? What does that mean? Grab a dictionary. Artificial. Artificial means fake. You get a box of cereal with 10 different color cereal inside of it. Purple, blue, pink, yellow, black, white. What do you think that? What you think? That's some purple fruit and pink fruit and yellow fruit? But no, that's artificial color, and those are all chemical that's going in your baby. That's why your baby have ADHD. That's why your baby got asthma issue. That's why your baby got eczema issue, stomach issue, air issue, all kind of issue because of all this chemical your baby is getting, number one. And your babies are not doing flushes as well. Oh, babies cannot do flushes. No, I've been doing flushes since I was about 5 years old. Your children needs cleanse.
Check this out. That's early when they're young. What happens after long-term use of years and years and years and years and years of eating this way? What effect does that have on your system?
Oof. The heart, the liver, the kidney, the spleen, everything break down. Your sexual organs.
That's why we're at the top of almost all those illnesses you said.
Talk about PCOS.
Right. And we're at the top of all those illnesses that you just said. You find our people, blacks and Hispanics, at the top of all those lists for a reason. Goes back to the diet. For a reason.
Every illness starts in the stomach, in the gut, in the colon, right there in your stomach, because what you're putting in is what affects the entire system.
And the importance of the flushes that you were talking about, sisters, what people don't realize is this. There is the chance that your body can't even absorb the nutrients that you're giving it.
Exactly.
So you're giving it all the juices and stuff, but if you're not cleansing the gut, then your body's not even absorbing what you're giving it.
Right.
So you have to do those. You have to do those cleansings. You have to do those flushes. You have to fast, brothers and sisters. I mean, you may not choose to do it on the Sabbath, but I think the Sabbath is a great time to do it. But you have to do intermittent fasting. Like every now and again, it's good to withhold your body.
And let's explain why we need to. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why we need to fast, but in regards to staying healthy and you know, when you're fasting, you're giving your organs a chance to rest themselves. Because if you get up morning, noon, and night, and all you're doing is just chomping down on eggs and bacon and this and that and burgers and pasta and rice and you know, chicken and beef and just 24 hours a day, you know, when you give your body a chance to rest. I mean, your organs has to process these things. You know, you eat breakfast, a few hours later you're eating lunch, a few hours later you're eating dinner. You didn't even give your organs a chance to process the breakfast that you ate this morning, because then you didn't throw lunch in there, and now you on dinner, and the organs are just working. And now if those organs are not healthy to begin with, right, because they're filled with toxin and chemicals, they're breaking down, so they can't even process the crap you're putting in there. What do you think is going to happen? All that crap stays there and begin
to manifest into something
to manifest. Something is going to start growing. Cancer.
Or break down.
Growth. Something is going to happen. Your skin is going to break out. If the liver is not functioning properly, your skin. Your skin. When you see a person, you know,
yeah, there's something going on with the liver.
Something going on with the liver, because the liver is responsible for the processing of the toxins that comes into the body. If your liver is not functioning properly, that's it.
I'll give you another analogy. Has anyone ever been sleep deprived? Where you either had to work a double shift or whatever, and you don't get sleep. You do not function correctly. Your perception is off. Your ability to make decisions is a little bit impaired.
Oh, you're angry.
So now, not only are you, instead of being sleep deprived, you're nutritionally deprived.
Yes.
Right? So now, you're not getting what you need to get out of the food that you're eating.
Right.
How do you function if you're half asleep? You're like,
yeah,
you're stumbling around. So if you're not getting the right kind of foods and you're not
physically,
absorbing it
mentally,
properly,
you're breaking down. Your whole, it's not just even your physical. Mentally, that stuff affects your mental health. That's another issue. Mental health issue. The food we eat is affecting children and adults' mental state. That's a problem, and I think we don't talk about that a lot.
well, mental illness is real. A lot of people don't want to address it. That's a whole other.
And we have to touch it. And this is the purpose of us doing videos like these and others, is because we have to talk about the situations that our people are not. Our people just want to live in this utopia where everything is okay, and the fact is that we as a people, we have a lot of issues from a physical standpoint, a health standpoint, a spiritual standpoint with our Creator, mental health, everything, you name it, our marriages, you know, our friendships, our interactions with others. Like we're jacked up, and we have to talk about it, and that's what this channel and Maccabees TV is dedicated to doing. So with that being said, I know you sisters again are on limited time, so if you sisters have any last words that you want to say, I'll start with you, Sister Shamika.
Well, just to reiterate what we talked about before, you know, it starts when you're young, and as Sister said, even before you're young, as a mother, how you eat, how you feed your unborn child, how you feed your newborn child, how you feed your growing toddler, how you feed your, you know, your preschooler, your preteen, how you feed your family. Overall, it'll get to the point, if you're doing the right thing, your husband, and I can testify to this, my husband will say, baby, where's my tea? Don't ask for it. Like, even if you're off your game and you're like, well, where's my tea? Where's my spoon?
Just like I did at 5 and 6 years old. I was going in the kitchen asking for my herb. They didn't have to force me for that.
Yeah. So, get in the routine. I think what it is.